Look, we're going to talk about something that seems completely contradictory regarding the use of aromatase inhibitors. Most people think the higher the doses of TRT you go on, 175, 200, 210, 250 a week, the more probability you're going to need an aromatase inhibitor to control estradiol. Then you've got people on Reddit telling you just lower your dose into oblivion, where you have next to no anabolism, your energy is crap, you're basically a natty. Estrogen will fall in range and you have your libido and your erections. First of all, the former isn't true. Okay, with higher doses, if you gap them out right enough, and we're going to discuss that in this video, you don't always need estrogen control. You don't need any at all sometimes. And going on the lower end doses, actually, you end up needing estrogen control more, especially if you're doing frequent injections, you're constantly overlapping. So sit back, relax. Let's break this down. This thing that I have seen in coaching over the years, that if you go higher on doses, sometimes you don't need an AI. And the lower the doses you go, the more need for aromatase inhibitors. It's completely contradictory, but I will clear it up in this video. Let's get into it. All right, before we start the video, look, my company, Cortex Labs, is a TRT guidance and sexual dysfunction resolution company. Two major announcements I want to make. Number one, brand new product, the product you guys have been waiting for, High-Dose TRT Mastery. It is a video course showing you how to high-dose test, get the effects of cycle-level anabolism, supercharged libido and erections. We discuss how daily injections are inferior. Have your cake and eat it too. Get this video course. Just launched, 20% off. Code is on the screen. Thank me later in the description of this video. Coaching, 50% off. We do these once a year. Last time was last August. We're running it again. Save thousands of bucks on a 3 or 6 month program. Listen, we're a company that focuses on getting results. If you've got libido and erection problems and cannot dial in on TRT, coaching is for you. We will get results. You could book me for 50% off. Codes on the screen right now. As I actually want to make the most important point right away, this is a Reddit thread. It's titled, "Anyone on a high dose without an AI that feels good." This guy's dose, 175 milligrams a week. Now, I really want you to look at this. He's pinning every other day injections, right? That's, I think it's, 50 milligrams every other day? Feel like shit libido, pissed off, irritable. Total T 1300, E2 15, free T 40. Doesn't look terrible, right? Again, sometimes the numbers lie to you, and you've got to be aware of that. But this is an absolute walking disaster, right? This guy's TRT protocol is not working out for him, doesn't have libido, feels pissed off and irritable. Like a woman who's super estrogenic. I would couch this as an estrogen dominant protocol without enough androgens, but that's dosed too frequently. Okay, 175 milligrams a week. In this case, you know what would make this guy feel better? I know what would make this guy feel better. A microdose of anastrozole. That is precisely what would make him feel better. The estrogen goes down to 30. If he can keep it there through the right frequency of anastrozole, which should be every 7 to 10 days, usually the E2 is going to stay right around 30, 35. All those side effects will go away. The libido comes back. He has erections. Everything's good. What does this tell us? On these frequent injections, no matter the dose, but especially at the lower doses, you tend to need an AI because you're constantly overlapping estradiol and you never get a break. Therefore, you can't get in the right ratios. So on this frequent injection, albeit higher end dose TRT protocol, this guy needs estrogen control. Believe me, that would solve his problem. Doesn't mean it's the best thing, doesn't mean it's the most ideal protocol, but that would solve his problem. You know what else would solve his problem? If he took that 175 per week, stopped injecting every other day, and injected every Sunday, once every 7 days, right? Then you get a major peak in everything, right? Higher than what he's peaking at 20 or 50 milligrams every other day. And then at the end of that effect duration window, that estrogen is going to go back down, right? The SHBG is going to go back up. It's going to prime him to store, deliver, and utilize androgens more efficiently through higher end, but not super high SHBG. It's like, been on TRT over a year, tried many protocols, just feel off, can't describe it, can't dial in. A TRT for over a year? Yeah, he's listening to the nonsense on the web. That's why. Look at this one. Is anyone on 200 milligrams a week with no AI? Doc, just up the dose from 1 to 200. I haven't taken or checked my estrogen since I started back in August. I did take 50 milligrams a week for 6 weeks in the beginning, but I don't count that period. I haven't had any high estrogen symptoms or taken any AIs. Thoughts, opinions on checking estrogen without symptoms? Thanks, guys. Love the sub. Oh, he doesn't say the frequency, but presumably, because it's doctor prescribed, he's injecting once a week at 200 milligrams. Doesn't need an AI. 75 at a lower dose doing every other day injections needed an AI, right? Was irritable, had no libido. Yeah, that's a wacky estrogen balance per the D and the T balance. This guy, 200 milligrams a week, presumably injecting all at once, hopefully in the glute with a 1 inch or 1.5 inch needle, which is how TRT is supposed to be injected, doesn't need an AI. I do 200 to 300 milligrams a week pretty consistently with no AI. I'm on no AI. But you got guys doing 125, 130, 140, 150, 160. They're pinning every day. They're just pinning in their thigh fat or belly fat every day. And they need estrogen control, right? They take some zinc, they get the estrogen down, it starts inhibiting aromatase. They take a microdose of an anastrozole. They add some primobolan, some proviron, some masteron, right? You get some estrogen blocking in various different ways with those drugs. Then they feel better, but they're on lower end doses. How the hell are the guys at 200 milligrams in 1 pin per week of a whole milliliter not needing estrogen control, where these guys down at 125, 130, 140, 150 doing every day or every other day pins need estrogen control? It's because, and I'm going to make this statement, there is a contradictory phenomenon that takes place when you take that shot and go up to higher doses and you spread out the frequency. You're not pinning testosterone every day and crushing your SHBG and overlapping hormones to the point where your body has no idea what the hell to do with that because it's not accustomed to that. As a natty, you peaked and troughed. You fluctuated. That's what your body prefers, typically, generally, more so. Suddenly, you have enough androgens, you peak at 1600 or something. You've got enough DHT, which, by the way, at the tissue levels acts as its own aromatase inhibitor, or we should say estrogen blocking chemical. Not quite inhibiting aromatase, but blocks estrogen at the receptor, right? Downregulates its genetic expression. It is the DHT on the higher end doses that is, first of all, getting them in a great ratio, but secondarily, handling estrogen itself. It's like people that are on higher doses with gapped out frequency have kind of a built-in estrogen control. It's not that their E2 is going up to 70, 80 picograms per milliliter. Might be 60, might be 55, might be 47, right? Definitely over range. But at the tissue level where it matters, especially when you got this antagonistic action of DHT, it's as if their estrogen is controlled. And therefore, they have no problems. They feel great. They're anabolic as hell. They look great. They've got rock hard erections in the middle of the night, rock hard erections for sex. Their libido gets in the way of them doing productivity work in the morning or throughout the day. They see something they like, their brain goes fucking crazy, and they don't need to take an AI. The reason that people need aromatase inhibitors or estrogen control on the lower end doses is because they don't have a protocol that has built-in estrogen control via the DHT and a proper androgen to estrogen ratio. You got cases like this. Does anyone else need an AI at such a low dose? I recently dropped my dose to 65 milligrams a week because I aromatize like mad and don't want to take an AI. It seems that no matter how little testosterone I take, I still get E2 sides, migraines, hot face, anxiety, mood issues that require 1 or 2 microdoses of anastrozole. And then I feel amazing for a few days. So you can't look at that guy and go, oh, it's all in your head, man. You'll just kind of get used to those side effects. The guy takes a drug that blocks the conversion of testosterone into estradiol and he feels better. It's obviously a cause and effect relationship, right? He needs lower estrogen at that lower end T dose because he doesn't have enough DHT to counter estrogen's effects. I'm telling you, the lower you go, that happens until you end up in oblivion, or maybe you have great sexual function, but you are a natty. You have no anabolism, you have no energy, you're pissing all the time because you're making far less hormone because your estrogen's super low and your androgens are super low. It's no way to live life. This guy in the comments, I'm also on 75 milligrams of enethate, split into 3 injections Monday, Wednesday. That is a terrible protocol. Still need an AI. Annoying as F. These guys need to double their total weekly dose or times it by 2.5 and inject once every 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 10th day. Then they'd have enough a peak of everything. The DHT would act as estrogen modulation, positive estrogen modulation. They'd trough back down and they'd stay in healthy ratios. Even though I strongly disagree with a lot of the content that comes out on some of those pro-estrogen groups. There's one, you guys remember Danny Bossa? Danny Bossa, I don't think he does content anymore, right? There's a lot of controversy, and I outed him for his discussion on estradiol. But one of the things that he said that he kind of maintained, which is actually true, is that sometimes when you're having estrogenic-like side effects and these otherwise side effects associated with estradiol, increase the dose. Now, for a lot of people, it didn't necessarily work, right? Their blood pressure went up. These are unhealthy people. But for some people, it did work, including Danny, right? You know, people would look at that and be like, what the hell is he talking about? It's just going to, you know, increase the estradiol further. Yes, for some people, yeah, and that's going to be a problem. They're still going to need AIs. But for other people who are in good shape, not overweight, you know, generally healthy, go up to 2, you know, do it once a week. Maybe go up to 270 once a week. 300, that's pushing sports TRT, mild level cycle territory. But who knows? I've seen guys have to take 400 milligrams a week to be dialed in. And suddenly the DHT manages the estrogen for you at the gene expression level, the tissue level where it really matters. And you're dialed in, plus you're super anabolic, and you feel great. And the scale of 1 to 10 on rigidity of erections is like a fucking 15. Just some food for thought, boys. Sometimes going into those lower-end doses, in order to make the ratios work, you do actually have to control estradiol. You know, I've spent years talking about that, and I still stand by that. Oddly and contradictorily, the word, higher doses, gapped out, a lot of times you don't need an AI. Food for thought. Keep it in mind. Look, I've spent the greater part of the last decade building products for TRT and coaching people on dialing in. There isn't a situation that I have not seen that we cannot get resolved. Talking about high doses, look, I just built High Dose TRT Mastery. It's the video course you guys have absolutely been waiting for. It shows you how to mega dose TRT, achieve the sexual function, but also enjoy the anabolism, the energy, and the strength associated with those doses without having side effects. I break the entire thing down. If you want to take TRT to the next level, please get this course. Thank me later. It's 20% off. Codes on the screen and links are down in the description of this video. Look, sometimes you don't want to go at it alone, and you're better off not wasting time, especially if you're just running into problems, spinning your wheels over and over again, hiring somebody that does this professionally for years and years and years. That's us, and coaching is 50% off. We do that once a year. 3-month package, 6-month package, thousands of dollars off. The code is on the screen. You book, you and I are on the fact-finding call within a day or so, and we begin. I am a results-driven coach. I do not care what is out there on the web. I know what works. We will get it resolved. Bring me on board, brother. I'd love to see you. Go to the homepage, livecortex.com. There are various products that show you how to use TRT in various modalities, including mastering testosterone cypionate, mastering libido and erections on TRT, mastering testosterone cream for libido and erections, and, of course, the source list, which is self-explanatory, all down in the description of this video. Brother, like the video. And if you're still here, I need you to like the video. It's free to do, and I need you to hit that like button, bro. Come on, let's get it done. Otherwise, sub to the channel. Listen, if anything I said resonated with you, this is all we talk about on this channel. I promise you're going to get really, really good informational value, stuff that will change your protocol for the better from this channel. Love to have you on board. I'll see you in the comment section. I respond to them, bro. While you're at it, bro, you should probably watch this video right here. All right, ties this all together on the same theme, gives you the full picture. Go watch it. Kick ass, rock on, enjoy the rest of your day, man. And I'll talk to you in the next one.